All right, well, the seeds have started to fall big time at the Australian Open 2023. Swiatek out, Coco Gauff out, Hurkacz out, Felix, they all lose. The big news of the day, I would say, is Swiatek. She goes down to Elite and Rybakina, Wimbledon champ. I called on Twitter the most disrespected, unappreciated Wimbledon champ of all time. Kind of cool to see her get a huge victory like this and move on in the tournament. So we're going to break down all the matches from yesterday, the seeds that fell, the underdog heroes who rose above them. And we're going to take a look ahead to day 8, the matches we have tonight in the 4th round, men's and women's. It's just craziness going on now. So big news, seeds are falling and the underdogs are rising here at the Australian Open 2023. Here is the slice. Welcome back to the show, people. Thanks for being here. Subscribe if you have not already, and the slice will bring you through the rest of this tournament in a way that you cannot find anywhere else on the internet. We're going to be getting more into match-by-match analysis as there's less and less matches going forward. But one thing I want to highlight is my top 5 on the men's side. Before we get into Iga Swiatek being upset by Alina Rybakina, let's just take a look at my top 5 predictions for the my top 5 contenders for the Australian Open. That was Djokovic number 1, Tsitsipas number 2, 3 Medvedev, 4 Fritz, 5 Felix. So the bottom 3 have all lost, but the top 2 are still intact, with Djokovic obviously still alive and Tsitsipas now making it to the quarterfinals, beating Sinner. So let's go through these matches, starting with Alina Rybakina beating Iga Swiatek. So if you watch this match, and from the beginning of the tournament, I said Iga Swiatek does feel like the favorite to me in a way, but she does not feel as invincible as she's been at the French Open or on clay in general. But these conditions make the other women feel like they can beat her. And that's what Alina Rybakina looked like yesterday. She looked confident. She's always super calm, cool, and collected. She's like the most chill player out there. She was just stroking big serves, big forehands, and moving out well to her backhand and hitting some pretty sweet winners from there as well. It looked like Swiatek had to work way harder to get past Rybakina than vice versa. And yeah, it was just super impressive to see. I wonder if the flatter balls helped Rybakina because they stayed there a little slower and they gave her more time to line up her shots. But yeah, her serving is just so is it the best serve on the women's tour? Like, what else would be better? I don't know. Like, it's probably is the best serve on the women's tour, and it was pretty dominant last night. If we just look at some of the stats from last night, let me just pull these up. She, in the serving category, Alina was only 56% serve in, but she won 80% of her first serves compared to Iga Swiatek's 57%. So it was like the return for Rybakina, she was just teeing off, and the first serve and second serve, Swiatek only won 57%. She got 63% in, but that doesn't really make a difference if you're barely winning over half of your first serves. So Rybakina absolutely dominated in the first serve category. Swiatek only winning 6 points all night on Rybakina's first serve. That's pretty impressive. She was going for it. Both women were going for it. Rybakina was just going for it more. She hit 24 winners, 25 unforced errors. Swiatek hit 15 winners, 14 unforced errors. So it seems like Rybakina was just better on the night, and that's what I saw during the matches I watched. But yeah, Rybakina winning. Like I said before, she won Wimbledon. She didn't get points for that, so her ranking didn't go up that much. And then she was just on side courts for the rest of the year. Like, I think this is like the first big main court she's played on, definitely against a top opponent. And she showed out. She won. She took down the number 1 in the world. So that's huge for Rybakina. She could honestly, her moving ahead through this draw would not surprise me. Would it surprise you? We're gonna look at the draws here later in a bit, but very impressive from Rybakina. So Iga Swiatek out. Is the Roman Empire, is the Iga Empire starting to crumble? We'll see. She didn't win the Australian Open last year. So she wasn't defending a title here, but super interesting. Well, let's get to another upset. Felix Auger-Aliassime, Canadian, dagger in the heart, lost to Jiri Lehecka. So the main problem here is Jiri Lehecka won the serving battle. Felix has one of the elite serves on the ATP Tour, but Jiri Lehecka outserved him. Won a higher percentage of first serve points, and I think, let me just pull it up here, and I think got more total in and everything. So we're going to go stats, all sets. Jiri Lehecka, first serves in, he got more percent in, 69%. Then his first serve win percentage was 83 to Felix's 82. And then the second serve win percentage was 64% for Jiri and only 48 for Felix. So Yuri's serve is he like reaches back behind him and he hits it so big for how big he is. I don't think he's that huge of a guy. And it was very impressive. And Felix's return, I guess, was just not as good as it can be in the past. And that's something he's had to work on. He knows he has to work on. But, I mean, yeah, you would not expect Felix to not win the serving battle against a guy like Jiri Lehecka. And since he didn't win that battle, that already puts him up against it. But then he also just wasn't playing his A game at all. He was a little bit of frozen Felix. He was on the back foot. He had 39 winners to 45 unforced errors. And then Jiri had 39 winners to only 33 errors. So that just shows right there who was playing better tennis. It was Jiri. And then, yeah, it went to 2 tie breaks in the third and fourth set. Obviously, those are a coin flip, but Felix just didn't play terrible tie breaks. He was like, anytime he had a shot lined up, he had the shot there that he would normally hit. If he was playing confidently, he'd pull it like 6 feet wide or like shank it or hit it long. So I think he was nervous. I don't think he had his best mental game going. And that's frustrating for him. That's disappointing for us. Fourth round showing, didn't make it to the quarterfinals like he did last year, so he'll lose a few points. But mainly, he was going to play Tsitsipas in the next round anyways, so it would have been tough, but that's a winnable match for him as well. So Felix has got to feel super disappointed with this loss, because I felt like coming out of the top half was like a very possible thing for him. He would have to beat Tsitsipas, and then he'd be in the semifinals where he'd be a big favorite as well. So he had a route there, but Lehecka, very good player. I've seen him play amazing tennis, but I've also seen him play terrible tennis. So he's, beat Shapovalov, and now he beat Felix. That's pretty savage. Wait, did he beat Shapovalov? Anyways, somebody else did. I think it was Lehecka. Anyways, he's a great player, and he beat Shapovalov back in Rotterdam, actually. No, Lehecka beat Cam Norrie. Yeah, so that was big. Another upset, Sebastian Korda. Sebastian Korda takes out Hubert Hurkacz in what I've heard was a slugfest. I didn't watch too much of it. I was watching the Felix match. But amazing for him to get through the quarterfinals. The game style he played to beat Medvedev, it worked again, taking the ball super early. These flatter balls, he's hitting them inside the court. He's able to do more with it than the other players are who are taking it later. That's, to me, the biggest thing. And he's closing out these matches. This was another 5-setter, and he was able to close it out. So big time for Sebastian. People are calling it, he made it to the quarterfinals. Very good, very good, very cheesy, but he's in the quarterfinals. So that's big time for him. Coco Gauff beaten by Ostapenko in the outfits that are just so ridiculous, and it's almost a joke. It's hilarious. So Coco Gauff, the American sweetheart, out. Don't know if people were expecting that, but Ostapenko obviously packs a huge punch, so it does make sense. So yeah, and then Stefanos Tsitsipas versus Jannik Sinner. Tsitsipas versus Sinner. Tsitsipas comes through in 5 sets. Sinner comes back after being 2 sets down to make a 5th set, but Tsitsipas just wants it. He's there. He's playing. He didn't play as clinically as last year when they played in the same stage, but he got through and he did what he needed to do. And again, you can see how much it means to him. When he wins, he's like dropping his racket. Like, it's like huge for him. I don't think he's taking any of these rounds for granted. So now, like I said at the beginning, Tsitsipas has by far the he should make the final. If he doesn't, that's a big disappointment for him. But maybe he's just taking every round as it comes, as he should be. But he now has to play Yuri Lehechka, and then the winner of Khachanov and Korda. So yes, in my opinion, Tsitsipas is the big favorite to make the finals. So that's pretty super interesting. Let's pull up the other results here. So yeah, we had Rybakina beat Swiatek, Korda beat Hurkacz, Tsitsipas beat Sinner in 5, Azarenka makes it through in 3, Ostapenko takes out Goff, and Lehechka beats Auger-Aliassime. Khachanov destroyed, almost triple bagel, got a double bagel in there versus Nishioka. And then Pegula takes out Krejcikova. Pegula is playing sneaky, amazing tennis. Let's take a look at the draws here, starting with the women's. Rybakina versus Ostapenko in the top quarterfinal. Amazing. Literally fire versus ice. Literally everyone I think likes Rybakina. She's so chill. And Ostapenko is sometimes a clown. That's going to be interesting. Then we got Pegula versus Azarenka. Amazing matchup. Pegula, like I said, just been clinical. Takes out the former slam champion, Krejcikova. Now she's playing another one, Azarenka. And then as we go on today, Pliskova versus Zhang, Lynette versus Garcia, Sabalenka versus Bencic, Vekic versus Fruhvirtova. I like Vekic. She's playing great. A great brand of tennis, isn't she? So now to the men. We got, like I said, Khachanov versus Korda, Tsitsipas versus Lehechka. Very, very wide open, interesting, quarterfinals at a slam. This feels different, doesn't it, than other years. And then tonight, we've got great matches on the bottom half, to be fair. Very great matches. Rublev versus Rune. Their head-to-head is 1-0. Holger Rune beat Rublev in Paris just in the fall, where Holger Rune went on that crazy run, beat 5 out of the top 10 seeds, including Djokovic in the final. De Minaur versus Djokovic. That's going to be a physical battle. If De Minaur can make this super physical and win one of the early sets, let's see how Djokovic's leg hold up. Let's see how it holds up. And then on the bottom, we got Shelton versus Wolf and Bautista Agut versus Tommy Paul. Excuse me. I don't have my coffee in me yet. Shelton versus Wolf, American matchup. Two guys who are just super happy to be in the 4th round. One of them is going to make the quarterfinals. That's incredible. Life-changing result for them. Career-changing result. And then Agut versus Tommy Paul. As I said before, I was in a match. I was in Paris watching them courtside when they played. It was very funny. It wasn't like the most high-quality match from Bautista Agut for sure. He actually had his wife and kid sitting right courtside on these tiny courts. And then he actually his kid kept making noise and he's just told his wife to take the kid away. I'm pretty sure it was in Spanish, and then she was like, oh, and just took him away. It was pretty funny. So anyways, that's going to be clean hitting masterclass of tennis match. I can't wait to watch that. So that is going to be good. So yeah, that is a day of upsets at the Australian Open in the 4th round. Big upsets, I would say, on the women's side. Swiatek out. What do you guys think about that? Is that surprising to you, or did you see that coming? I kind of saw it coming, but you never really know. But then seeing the way these court conditions and balls are playing, Alina Rybakina taking her out kind of makes a lot of sense, doesn't it? It does. Felix is out. That's tough for us Canadians. I thought he was going to be through to play Tsitsipas in the quarterfinals, but wasn't able to get there. So tough one for him, tough one for us. But that's tennis. That's Grand Slam tennis. The player who's hot on the day is going to win, and Yuri Lehechka is hot right now. So that's the slice on day 7 roundup. Day 8 today. It's going to be good. Djokovic versus De Minaur, Rune versus Ruud, RBA versus Tommy Paul. I love it. So stay tuned here to the slice. We'll keep you updated. Follow me on Twitter for in-match updates, and we will see you next time here on the show.